Welcome to another episode of the Giant Take podcast. I am Josh, and I am joined by my co-host Alex. It's been a couple weeks since our last episode. Didn't really have much to bring to you last week, nor do we this week. Kind of just waiting a month now for training camp to begin. What I can bring you personal news about is school has concluded for us, which is very great. More, I guess, time to put out content that we don't have at this moment, but we have some fun ideas hopefully coming in the future, as well as a little opportunity that we got in July. So obviously we'll talk about that when July comes around, and hopefully some guests we can bring on in the future heading into the 2022 Giants season as well. We already have had, if you haven't checked it out already, our last few episodes, Justin Pennick. We had him on towards the beginning of June. That was a great interview, as it always is with our friend and Giant Take Hall of Famer. And then most recently in our last episode was Sam Prince, the kid who announced Kayvon Thibodeaux pick at number 5. He also has a lot of things going on with, going on to NFL Network. He made the rounds and is still making the rounds. So we appreciated him taking the time to spend with us and have a great interview there. And it's super cool talking with him as he's basically our age, just a year older grade-wise. So it was right up our alley. So let me loop in my co-host, Alex. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm in this different setup again, so you'll see me in a mix of this setup if you're watching on YouTube, and also probably on audio. You can tell the difference is different mic as well, but similar quality, I'm hoping. But I'm going to be in this location here, and then I'll be back to my normal location also throughout the summer. So there we go. Just clearing the air there in case anyone was interested. I know no one was, but whatever. But I'm doing well. I'm excited. The big news of today, or not today, well, what we're discussing today, it didn't happen today, but what we're discussing today, training camp is open back up to the public. I'm so excited. And, Josh and I know Josh is excited. I'm excited. And hopefully we can do some really fun stuff. Hoping we can get the tickets, obviously, to get there when we get there. Obviously, I think there's going to be quite a bit of a rush. I think the diehard Giants fans, there's a lot more of them now than I think there used to be with all these guys on YouTube, on podcasts, Talking Giants, The Entertainer. They've really driven up the fan base. So we got a lot of diehards who are probably going to want to come to training camp. So we'll do our best to get tickets, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what happens. We're not season ticket holders, so we don't get the early access, but hopefully we get there as early as possible on whatever that July date is where you can start getting tickets. I would say that's where we kind of end our conversation today. Let's go through the other little tiny stuff we got available here. First of all, Eli Manning talked highly about the New York Giants on NFL Network in an interview saying, quote, "I think Coach Brian Daboll and what they're doing and that staff and General Manager Joe Schoen, having been around the facility the atmosphere has changed," Manning said in an NFL Network interview, like I said already. So I'm excited for Daniel Jones, the Giants quarterback. I know he's been working extremely hard and been through a lot of offenses, a lot of coaching changes, so hopefully this can be the right one. There's some quotes from Eli Manning. The Mannings have also been in the news recently for Arch Manning, his nephew. The decision to commit to the University of Texas, big deal, especially because I expected him to go to Ole Miss. But not even Ole Miss, just, I don't know, a more competitive school. Alex, I know we were together last night, right? We're recording the Sunday night. We were talking about Clemson, Alabama, somewhere where he can shine. And it just doesn't seem like Texas is a place for that.
I was totally in agreement with you. And then I watched this TikTok. I know, I love how this is how it happened, right? And they were going through explaining why it was actually a good decision. And I'll kind of run through the points. And I kind of did some further research, and I was like, wow, that they're right. Austin, Texas, which is where UT is, right? I believe it's the second fastest growing city in America. And now with the NIL deals that college players can now get paid, there's great opportunities there rather than in Clemson, South Carolina, or wherever Alabama is. I don't think it's not in Birmingham, right? I don't actually know where it is, so I'm not going to be not that Birmingham's a fast-growing city. So I do understand from a brand point of view, it does make sense to go to Texas. Out of those schools, they're going to be moving to the SEC. It's not as baffling of a decision as I originally thought. So that's kind of what I'd say there. I think the whole money in college football aspect now for the players really makes it a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, and the Alabama Crimson Tide are located in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, so definitely not as much opportunity as, if you were to go to...
I don't think that's as poppin' of a city.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess something to note on, and you do make great points there. We'll see how he proves himself. Let's have him get there first. Is he our graduating year, 2023? I think so, right?
Yeah, same age as us, yeah.
Yeah,
Look at him going to Texas, going to the NFL while we're sitting here,
Yeah, figuring out where we're going to go to college. We're not committing anywhere, though. I'll tell you that for athletics.
We're committing on a Giant Take scholarship.
Seriously. Moving on now to Kayvon Thibodeaux. If we remember in the rookie camp and Giants mini camp, he had like a mystery injury. He was wearing a red shirt. Why was this? We now know. Dan Duggan of The Athletic reports that the quick injury update on Kayvon Thibodeaux was that this spring he had a tweaked hip, per his source. It's considered minor, so he expects him to be ready for the start of training camp. The Giants were I don't know what word I was going for, but it's excessively cautious with injuries during the spring. And they've heard that Duggan has heard that a number of red jersey players had minor injuries. And we'll find out at the start of camp which spring injuries were more serious based on when that training camp starts. Towards the end of July, how many more players or how many players have red shirts, and that'll tell you how minor or major the injuries were at the time. And when it comes to Thibodeaux, even Brian Dable said I remember in an interview or press conference during the mini camp, he said he expects Thibodeaux to be ready for the start of training camp. So shouldn't be a worry for any Giants fans out there that are worried. That's my opinion on it.
I'm a little concerned. I'm concerned about injuries. The Giants, I know I'm just completely cutting into your point. You're like, no one should be concerned. And then I say everyone should be concerned. I'm not saying everyone should be concerned. I'm just saying I'm concerned. I'm concerned with injuries. I feel like this team is injury-ridden constantly. I'm sure for other fans of other teams, it feels like that too. But it's concerning this early on for, a kid out of college, young kid, just, getting a minor hip tweak that's keeping him out. These are young kids, as, older people say, right? They got to be running around. They shouldn't be getting injured. They got to be running around all day, right? They shouldn't be getting hurt. They got, new bones, fresh muscles, whatever. Not that that's how it works. But that is a little concerning. There's some truth to that, right? That you bring in a guy and he hasn't even played a snap of NFL football and there's already injury concerns. And it feels like Kadarius Toney a little bit all over again. I'm not going to go that far, but it's a little bit concerning for me. That's all I'd say. I'm not worried. I'm a little concerned. There we go. Just a little concerned.
Just a little bit. So now that's it. We can go to the main news of this podcast. Like Alex mentioned earlier, Giants training camp is back open to fans. This is what the Giants.com article states. Giants training camp is back. New York Giants 2022 training camp presented by Ford will feature 11 practices open to the public at Quest Diagnostics Training Center. Open for the first time since 2019, Giants training camp is new and improved in 2022. Will feature current player autographs, meet and greet opportunities with Giants legends, a junior Giants kid zone, that's where me and Alex will be heading, and daily giveaways. So, Alex, the first question for you is, are you ready for this junior
Giants? We'll be jumping
Giants?
in the ball pit.
Yeah, the junior Giants kid zone.
Yeah.
Are you hyped for it?
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. Hopefully they have a ball pit. Maybe they have a guy making animal balloons or balloon animals. How do you say it? Balloon animals. Those are really my favorite. Maybe like a cat or a lion or something. I don't know what kind of balloons. Maybe like a giant themed balloon. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm excited for that. You're definitely right.
What really gets me kind of nervous about this, though, is that I don't want to say summer weather is unpredictable, because normally in the Northeast, especially in Jersey, it's very sunny. But there's all these dates, and I just don't think they'll reschedule them because there's 11 of them. And depending on which ones we choose to go to, we're trying to plan on going to a group of them, like 2 of them back-to-back days, so we kind of like have like a report of like, oh, we saw this on day 1 and then this on day 2 to come and bring it to you, our watchers and listeners of the podcast. Now, if you look at the first bullet point below all the schedule, it says, schedule time subject to change. In the event of inclement weather, practice will be moved indoors and there will be no public viewing. So, obviously the tickets are free. It's not like they have to worry about refunding anyone. But it's a little scary that, like, you can get these tickets booked and then you get them and you're excited, and then both days it rains or whatever that you're supposed to go, or one day, and it won't happen. So that's just something to know.
Josh and I will be climbing the walls of the Quest Diagnostic Center trying to get a little shot of the indoor practice. That's
only reporters are allowed in there. We'll have to fake it till we make it.
We'll
reporters.
We'll pretend to be I don't know. Who can we pretend to be? We'll pretend to be Dan Duggan. I don't know. It'll be fun.
We have to like reach out to our contacts and see who can get us in there. And then the second bullet point is the Giants Fan Fest will be hosted at MetLife Stadium. They did it last season. So let's go through the specific dates for everything. So yes, 11 open practices, specific dates. July 27th, 28th, 29th. Giants back together Saturday, whatever that means, is July 30th. I don't know if there's anything special specifically on that date. I guess they'll do 1 or 2 things maybe differently. August 1st, 2nd, 3rd, Giants Fan Fest on that Friday, August 5th. And the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 14th. So there you go. Those are your dates for the open training camp. And with that being said, or Alex, go ahead.
I have comments. You're going to end this already? I have comments.
No, I was just about to say, even with your comments, this will probably be the shortest Giant Take episode of all time.
Yes, it probably will be. But here's what I would say about the Fan Fest. I don't like the Fan Fest. You know why? It brings back bad memories. The first Fan Fest was with the Joe Judge. Remember, I don't know, someone. Well, I didn't do it because I had a broken foot.
Yeah, what are you talking about? You would have ran the lap if you had it.
I would have ran the lap. Yeah. But you guys ran the lap. It was terrible, man. And then we were all so disappointed. It's just that those memories bring back terrible, terrible memories. You know, it's just awful. The only positive that came out of that day, like in hindsight, is that I think it was our
Oh, go.
It was like our most liked / like retweeted / shared Twitter post. So there you go.
Most viral Twitter post in Giant Take history right there. So take the positives out of it. I know that was a positive. So yeah, we were retweeted on many accounts, clowned, but it wasn't us being clowned. It was LPG because that was the most liked tweet. So I guess like it wasn't completely us. But it was our account.
I think we were kind of being.
But then we were also being.
We were kind of being clowned.
We all were. Yeah. All right. Well, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem. Don't mind.
But with that being said, we're approaching. Can't believe I'm saying this. 14 minutes. So I guess I will start wrapping it up here. Yeah, really long. Again, stuff is going to be happening in the future. Opportunity happening in July for us again. Stay tuned. Hopefully interviews coming up throughout the summer, and that's what I'm going to leave you with. But first, let's get some few things in here. Subscribe to the Giant Take Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. You can rate us 5 stars, on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. ShipItStudios.com/A-Giant-Take. That is ShipItStudios.com/A-Giant-Take. On there, you can find out all the places to listen or watch the podcast. Subscribe on YouTube. And give us a like as well. We'd really appreciate that. You can follow us on Instagram and Instagram and Facebook, The Giant Take Podcast, Twitter and TikTok, The Giant Take Pod. Alex on Twitter at Annoying23. I'm on Twitter at JoshSolo29. You can find most of that info in the podcast notes or description. With that, I'll send it to my co-host to take this one out.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to today's mini episode. I think that's a good way to characterize it. And we'll see everyone next time for a probably more substantial episode because I don't think it's possible for one to be shorter. We'll see you next time. Peace.